Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so finally we have an update on Battlegrounds, and there are some good news, some bad news, some odd news that we're gonna have to test, but let's get to it. So first things first, July beta for Battlegrounds is starting on 11th of July, and it will last for 2 weeks, which kind of sucks. We were hoping for an entire month of Battlegrounds, but hey. So it's gonna be finishing on July the 25th. You're going to have 2 full weeks to play Battlegrounds. Reward updates. Battlegrounds rating rewards. Players that reach and maintain a following Battlegrounds rating at the conclusion of the July Battlegrounds beta will receive the following: 17,000 tier 6 basic catalyst fragments and 13,500 tier 3 alpha catalyst fragments. So it's like 30% of tier 6 basics and tier 3 alpha catalysts. Then top 2,500 will receive basically half of that, which is cool. So they're adding some, relatively vague rank rewards. Now, I do not know if the Battleground store is making a return. I assume it is. I think it is. I don't think these would be the only rewards, but who knows? They have not specified here. So I do hope that the milestones are coming back and the Battlegrounds currency is coming back so we can shop for that stuff. But either way, we're going to be able to earn some rank 4 materials, which is neat. Moving on, mode updates. Players will no longer start at 1500 Battlegrounds rating. All players will start at the Battlegrounds rating respective to their PRG level, so progression level. Uncollected start at 0, halves start at 150, Thronebreakers and Battlegrounds start at 300. I think it's a very good and neat solution to kind of assure that when you start playing Battlegrounds, for instance, I don't match somebody that is uncollected and result in a huge mismatch. Now, will there still be mismatches? Obviously, because there are going to be some people with big accounts who don't play particularly well, and there will be some players with small accounts who are overachieving, and there will, eventually be also some mismatches. But I do think that this is a good idea to kind of start off it. I also think that later on this will not matter as much. It only matters when you kind of start from the finish, at the starting line. But if your ratings kind of are left alone for a long enough period of time, it shouldn't matter all that much. Players at the bottom of the ended Battlegrounds rating spectrum should now find more appropriate matches. Exactly. Scoring. Attacker HP remaining is only scored when the defender is defeated. Now, this is going to be a fairly big change, because quite often, you could win your fights with having a lot of HP remaining. So hopefully this makes it more interesting, more fair. We'll see how that ends up being. But now the very big controversial change, where fight duration is reduced from 120 seconds to 90 seconds. Additionally, defender HP bonus is reduced from 300% to 200%. So they're making health pool smaller, but the fight duration smaller as well. Now, I personally think they're swinging this in the wrong direction. I think, if anything, they probably should have increased the duration of these fights. However, this could do something with the fact that there are people abusing force closing if they had a bad start of the fight and still had enough time to finish off these fights. And now, proportionally, the amount of time that somebody would need to restart the game, start it back up, and re-enter the fight is going to be a larger portion of the total fight duration. So that, might make it much riskier and harder to do. Other than that, I do think I did not expect this. I did not see it coming. I'm not going to scream about it yet. I do want to see how these matches, look right now. But it's going to be quite interesting, because with lower defender HP, some champions are going to be even more important to, quote-unquote, nuke down the opponents. So we'll see how this works out. Champion charges. Now, this change is very good. For the duration of this beta, all champion recharge timers will be set to 1 minute per charge across all the rarities. We have heard your feedback around the friction champion charges create to all summoners, and we will be revisiting their functionality. Now, this is great. This basically means that it's impossible for you to spend up all of the champion charges, and you do not have to worry about the recharge cost at all ever again. And now the meta changes. And week 1 on paper, I absolutely hate. The reason why I really didn't like the final week of the reason why I really didn't like the final week was because the meta was so open. It just felt kind of bland in a sense. And this time around, week 1, we're gonna have no nodes, only champion boosts. So it means no additional abilities. It's basically bigger arena. And I don't like that. Now, I know that there will be somebody who are happy for it. It's definitely not for me. I want these nodes to be tricky, interesting, and I want them obviously to disqualify some champions, include some, make some champions better, create some interesting interactions. And this is virtually the worst possible scenario for Battlegrounds meta in my head, or close to it, maybe right next to the covered node or something. But I really do not like the idea of not having any nodes. Absolutely no. Now, week 2 is going to be much different in a sense, much more interesting. We're going to have insult to injury. We're going to have, while the attacker is suffering from a debuff, the defensive ability accuracy is reduced by 50%. Additionally, the defender has 100% increased defensive ability accuracy. When the attacker has 3 or more debuffs, the defender becomes unblockable until the attacker has 0 debuffs. Whenever the attacker purifies a debuff, they become unblockable for 7 seconds. Now, this is going to be much more interesting meta, because in this one, there will be some very painful defenders, namely, let's say, Null, who, can put 3 debuffs on you at the start of the fight, or champions that typically debuff opponents frequently, no matter how you do the fights. So this one, I think, is going to be fairly intriguing. I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot more. You're going to have to be much more careful against champions like, Havoc or Terex, perhaps, Null, most notably, and a whole bunch of others. So for this one, I personally do kind of look forward. I do think it's missing additional node for another debuff, for when opponent something on a short burst lockdown type. I think that would make it even more interesting. And I'd absolutely love this. But we'll see how this works out for sure. With the first one, with champion boosts only, no additional buffs, I really am not a big fan of that. So to sum it up, this Battlegrounds experience obviously is going to be quite significantly different. The fight duration dropping to 90 seconds and the champion health pulse dropping down to 200%, I think is going to end up putting much more emphasis on champions that can nuke their opponents, stuff like Black Widow, Deadly Origins, Hitmonkey, CGRs, Ghosts, and stuff like that. And the reduction of the fight duration even further, we'll see how it works out. But let me know what you guys think about these changes, about the rating changes, about having a very kind of loose wage rank rewards, and all the other stuff. At the very least, no matter in what shape or form Battlegrounds are coming back, I'm happy they are coming back. Just do not like the first meta, but I'm sure I'm going to get over it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next